Hi. Just so you know, if you see me looking up, it's because I'm on Instagram as well. Hello, happy Friday afternoon. I am just on here to be of service to all of you lovely people who follow me. I love that you guys follow me and you think that, you know, I can provide some value in your lives. Can I get to my highest range? How can I get to my hi, official Olivia? I always tell people that you get to the highest range by mastering how to sing in your middle range, right? Most people that work with me, I don't focus on like I don't really do range tests like that. It's just kind of one of those things that it organically happens as we're doing our voice lessons. Like I just start going higher and higher, and then before they know it, they can sing it, and they're like, "What? Where did this come from?" It's like, well, you've been killing it. So it all happens in the middle voice. Once you learn how to access your middle voice properly, the range just really opens up really organically. And I feel like that's the best way to figure out your range, because otherwise you're just beating a dead horse. If you don't have good technique, it shows itself when you the higher and the lower you get, right? The higher the upper extremities of your voice, the lower extremities of your voice really just serve to that's what I'm looking for. Magnify what you're doing right or wrong. If you're doing things correctly, then when it opens up, it'll sound, when you open up to the higher or lower extremities, it'll sound gorgeous. If you're doing things incorrectly, when you get higher or lower, that will be really apparent. I'm transgender, but can I train to sing mezzo soprano? I don't think I don't think you I think that's a I don't think you being transgender is really the issue in a sense. I like First of all, I would have to know if you're on hormones. Like if you're not on hormones that make your voice lighter, then no, you would just have your guy voice, if that makes sense. Could you sing high and low like any other guy? Yeah. Um, like you can sing your best, but to make you a mezzo, your breaks would have to change, your timbre would have to change, your weight would have to change. The weight of kind of the sound, you know what I'm saying, would have to change. So I don't think it has anything to do with transgender. And I say that because there are men who are countertenors, like they sing as high as any soprano. And to the degree that when you close your eyes, you would think it was a woman singing. Like there's really no difference between the color and the timbre of their voice and what a woman would sound like. So yeah, okay. So you're saying you're going on to, I guess when you say blockers, I think you mean testosterone blockers. So you would have to get more estrogen in your system and see how that changes your vocal color and range and tessitura. And more than likely it will lighten it. Will it lighten it to the point where you're a mezzo? I don't know, but because I don't know how you sound now. Some guys don't even start off with deep voices. So it would really just depend. And that is such an individual question, Jayla. Oh my goodness, Devontae, thank you so much. Thank you. You guys share this video because y'all be having all these questions and your friends be having questions. And I know it's kind of an odd time to come online. Some people are gainfully employed and are working at 2 p.m. But if they're just hanging out wondering what to do, send them my video and I would love to hear their questions while I'm here. Hi, Paul from New York. Oh, a D2 to a C4. Okay, that's really low. That's really, really low. Really low. Oh, thank you, Maria, for watching. You know what? That's a really good question, Major Scales. What makes a singer sound good? I always say good singing is quantifiable, right? It's quantifiable. When we talk about like color, timbre, phrasing, um, Hi, Caleb. So great singers have certain things in common. Number one, their voice is super connected. Number two, their placement is just amazing. Um, Number three, they usually have great breath control, right? And number four, they usually have a very pleasant tone. The timbre in and of itself is welcoming and pleasant and light. So when you say, how can I, what was the question? What makes a singer sound good? It's the conglomerate of all of those things coming together. Can you guys see my jacked up nail? Okay, anyway. It's all of those elements coming together. How does this, is their breath supported? Is it forward? Um, is the tone controlled, or does it constantly sound erratic, like it's changing? Does it give the listener a feeling of rest, or does it give the listener a feeling of angst? Like we don't know what's about to happen next. Are they going to hold on? Where are they going with that? Those are the things that make a singer sound good. When you think of your favorite singer is going to have those elements in common. I just don't feel like I can do more with my voice. I just don't know how to get oh yeah. Olivia, you have a great voice. I definitely think you can do more. I know, because I know your voice, I can say I do think you definitely still have a range to grow. It sounds like you've kind of taught yourself to get to the point that you're at. And I think in order for you to get to the next level, you probably just have to start listening to different vocal models. I can, just based on how you sing, I can kind of guess the people you listen to. And I would want you to listen to people who are more advanced that can stretch you in other ways. Caleb, I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching me all these years. Oh, when you sing, it sounds airy. Yeah, it sounds like there's some other things going on. You may want to go to a voice doctor, like an ENT, to make sure that your cords are closing properly. Of course, that could be technique, but just in the event that there's something else going on, like nodules, acid reflux, you never know. Make sure that is cleared. If your voice is airy, that means your cords aren't closing, and it could be a myriad of things, including just poor technique. So you're going to want to make sure you can zero in on that, because you probably have more range in you, but you got to get the range that you have solid first. When singing with proper support, should we push our stomach out? Hi, Carlene. Hi, girl. Okay. Should you be pushing your stomach out? No, not really. You should be inhaling, which displaces, here we go. Okay. You're not gonna, no. Get down, Luna. Oh my God. Get down, Luna. What? Why aren't you sleeping today? Jesus Christ. Okay, you're gonna let me talk? I can't take the licking in my face. We got a dog 3 weeks ago, so I'm still just like, she licked me. I lost my train of thought. Okay. No, you should not be pushing out your stomach. It's weird because what we think and what happens are two different things, right? So what we're thinking is actually what you're alluding to. So once you inhale and everything is expanded, as the air leaves your body, if you tell yourself, I want to stay expanded as long as possible, then you're actually, then you're actually engaging the muscles. Um, you're actually engaging the muscles, the diaphragm, the abdominals, and the, what is it, the extrinsic rib cage muscles, to help support the sound and let the sound out in a slow and controlled manner. So should you be pushing your stomach out? I mean, technically that's not what's happening, but you do want to use those muscles to try to stay expanded. You do want to use those muscles to try to stay expanded as long as possible. So that was a good, you would be right. So that was a good question. And you would be right. And you would be right. And you would be right. Especially Dimash, he is capable of singing as if he was a woman. Right, right, right. What's a good exercise for a clear, the hum? You know what? The basic stuff that's super boring, like the humming. That was terrible. Or the NG. That's kind of advanced. Things like that are really helpful. The problem is a lot of times people are just singing everything so harshly that they don't get the benefit out of the exercise. Good question. Why do some people sound better live than they do in the studio? Why do some people sound better live than they do in the studio? I don't know. Well, some mixing engineers, they overly condense your sound. So it's like you just don't get the full richness of the voice. What are you eating? There's nothing. Okay. Ooh, child. Okay. Mariah's tone is so pretty. This is true. My vocal influence is Brian McKnight. What makes his voice so great? I mean, his voice is pretty. What are some good vocal exercises to create a clear? Oh, we already did that. Oh, thank you. All right, somebody put in a request to join and I missed it. All right, so let me look at my YouTube and Facebook because I see a lot. Somebody said you are already listen, already, okay? She does not like her cage, and I don't like dogs just walking around. It's like there is a beast in my house just walking around. She looking at me, I'm looking at her. So I have seasonal allergies and sinus problems sometimes. So do those factors. You know what? 7 years from now, you guys are gonna be like, I remember watching you on live and the dog came on. I have seasonal allergies and sinus problems sometimes. So do those factors determine how well? Oh my gosh, 100% they determine how well you sing. You can't even like feel your sinuses. You can't even feel where you're trying to place your voice because it's already pressurized and blocked up. And your throat, to me, well, I can say how I experience allergies. My throat is on fire. So all of that kind of factors into how hard you want to push. So you usually have to kind of ease, like back up off the voice in order to sing well. And I think people always make the mistake of trying to push through. You know, y'all love pushing through. Mariah does have a gorgeous tone. I got a dog, I want to say 3 weeks ago. I don't know the exact day, but the kids were off school, and I feel like that was the week of Valentine's Day. So it might have been on Valentine's Day. That's a good question. I didn't really mark it down. I should look. It might have been the day before Valentine's. I don't even know. I'm a baritone, but I used to have a whistle register. I've lost it. Is it gone forever? You know, I can't say that I'm a huge expert on whistle tone. and if I sit here and tell you it's gone forever and then somebody tells you the opposite and then you find it, then you're going to call me a liar. So I would rather not say anything, um, conclusively on that. I would think it's gone forever, but what do I know? I'm not a baritone. And I can't say that I'm an expert in baritone voices on whether or not they can do whistle. Any tips when singing in the studio? Because singing live and singing in the studio is different. I love singing in the studio because it's a controlled atmosphere and because I get to hear every single thing I'm doing. And that's also why people hate the studio, is because they can hear every single thing they're doing. And they're like, what the heck is this? This is how I sound. How come nobody told me? I love the studio for that reason. I think the studio is a great way for you to become very acquainted with your voice and with your vocal habits. It's a reality check, okay? The studio is telling you who you actually are. So if you don't like what's happening in the studio, then it's time to get some vocal lessons and get some of those habits out so that you can learn to sing the way you really want to sing. And then transfer that to live singing, because what happens in live singing is we start to overcompensate for all of the things that aren't going correctly. The sound isn't right. Your mic isn't loud enough. The monitors aren't loud enough. And you feel like you're competing with so many different elements. The room is big and all of the stuff. So because you're not getting the feedback that you want, you start to overcompensate for that by singing loudly, and you get away with that because it's live and it feels good and there's energy, but you're creating really terrible habits and you don't really sound polished. But some people don't care about sounding polished as long as they're heard. But you obviously care, because when you get in the studio, you don't like it. So I would say get some vocal lessons and start really weeding out the things that are in your singing that you just don't need, that is just empty space. Some of y'all, the way you take your breath are ugly. It's like, it's just like, and then you hear that in the studio and you're like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, that's you. You meet you. Nice to meet you. So I would say get with a vocal teacher, because the vocal teacher has that second set of eyes and second set of ears that is going to hear the things you do in singing that are just so unnecessary and they're a waste of energy, right? Singing is simple, but it's not necessarily easy to simplify our singing. So we need somebody to train us and get us in the habit of taking away the things we just don't need. Yes. What can you do as a singer to expand your vocal range? I talked about this actually as soon as we came on. Somebody asked me about expanding vocal range. And you know what, guys? I'm an idealist. And I say that I'm an idealist because I just believe in the long route, because I believe the long route is the sustainable route. It's the route, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's the quick weight loss, and then there's the weight loss that took 2 years, but you never gained the weight back. I'm the one that's going to tell you to take 2 years to lose weight. So how do you expand your vocal range? You master your middle range. You master technique in the middle. You learn how to engage properly in the middle. And when you do that, what naturally happens over time is that you gain access to more notes. I have a friend who's a fantastic singer, and he sings better today than he did 15 years ago because his technique improved over time. His actual technique improved over time, and now he just sings high. Like, I have no idea when or how this happened. I don't know who this person is, but I just sing high. I just sing high now. I don't know why. I thought I was a baritone. And it wasn't because he made up his mind to sing high. He just became a great singer. He became a great singer. He already had an amazing voice, but he became a great singer. And just by virtue of becoming a great singer, it opened up his range. Yeah. How do you record and find backing vocals for recording your own songs? When you hear my songs, you're hearing my voice in the BGBs. I like singing BGBs, and I'm very specific with what I want. And I'm not saying that nobody else can do the things I do. However, I have noticed that when I ask other people to do the things I do, they're like, huh? Because I do have certain vocal thingies that I have, like my runs can be really fast or just kind of intricate, or I'll do like a vocal affectation that isn't a normal BGV thing. And it's like, wait, you wanted all that? Yes. So because of that, it's just easier for me to do my own BGVs because I know exactly what I want. And of course, my voice is going to match me. So it works for everybody. When is a boy's voice mature? I think that ranges from one boy to the next, but usually between the ages of 12 and 13 is when his voice starts maturing. There are some men that will tell you that their voice, they went through puberty for like 10 years. Like they matured from a soprano all the way to a bass two, and it was like a 10-year journey to their voice finally settling into what it needs to be. My son's voice is so incredibly deep, people think he's a 45-year-old man and he's just turned 15. So, it's different for everybody. How do you sing louder without straining? Why don't you try like ga 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 ga. Sorry, the dog doesn't like when I sing. Doesn't that suck? She loves me any other time. She's right here, and I think she's trying to find a spot to sleep. But anytime I'm doing voice lessons, especially when I'm teaching chest voice, she just looks at me and walks out of the room. Like she's like, this is my nap time. Why are you yelling? Anyways. Let me see. Thank you for coaching me in techniques. Oh, you sing opera. That's nice. People want the quick results. Yeah. Okay. Some people are just live singers. I mean, I don't keep the dog in a cage. What I'm saying is I would like to, but because she's a rescue, she's just like, she looks at that cage and like runs as far as she can. But thank God she does go in there at night. But anyway, but no, I don't keep her in a cage. And me not having her in a cage has me like, you better not find a spot to pee in and then just walk away. And then I find it days later. So let me see. Can a baritone sing a D2? Probably. I'm not really sure off the top of my head. I mean, you can say some people are just live singers, but to me, you're saying that some people, I mean, people should be able to sing in the studio. I don't think. Why would you say that? I mean, everybody has their preference, like whether they want to sing live or whether they want to sing in the studio. But what I'm saying is, if you start to get really specific about your sound, you should be able to do both. It shouldn't be either or. Because when somebody says, "Oh, I'm just a live singer," that makes me think that you're basically saying, I don't really want to do what it takes to perfect my craft. So I'm just going to sing live because I know how to rev up an audience and have a good time. Hi, Kai. And singing well doesn't have anything to do with improvisation. They're not mutually exclusive. You can have great technique, do great in the studio, and be great at improvising. What? Who are you talking at? Any tips for developing? I think I just talked about that. Though you can extend your vocal range, is an alto always going to be an alto or soprano? That depends, Maria. That's a good question. She was saying you can extend your vocal range, but does that change your voice type? I think, how about this? Forget voice types and grow your voice. And once you've grown your voice, you can say, okay, well, my voice feels good here, but this is the actual range that I have. I think that makes more sense instead of trying to label what your instrument is, because there's really no reason to do that, especially in contemporary music. In opera, yes, there's a reason to do it because you're going to have there's roles that are written for certain tessituras. There's roles that are written for certain voice types and the way that they function. Outside of that, there's really no purpose. So just develop your voice. If you want to call yourself something, go ahead. But I do find this: people that have amazing top ranges love to call themselves altos because, like, oh, wow, she's an alto and she can do all of that. Who cares? This is clearly a soprano who just has a rich middle register. And that's okay. Our voices are allowed to be multifaceted. Our voices are allowed to have multiple timbres, and weights and warmth and all of that. Like, allow the voice to be the voice and do what you want with it. One aspect that's never stressed enough, and I value greatly as a singer and performer, is posture. Many singers tend to shorten their spinal column, hence constrain their larynx and hinder projection. This is very true. When you hunch over, you're actually cutting off right where your diaphragm would need to expand in order for you to get in a good breath. Therefore, you don't get the breath in, your air doesn't get to the bottom of your lungs, because that's the bottom of your lungs is where you would get the most expansion and therefore the most breath support. You would be cutting all of that off. So, amen to that. What is your advice for me? I'm a baritone that can stretch my limits. My advice for you is the same advice I have for everybody. Who told you were a baritone? That's weird. What are some breathing techniques? I know him personally. That's why I said that. What are some breathing techniques a singer can do? Somebody said tell them to practice. There's a bunch of breathing techniques. I mean, I feel like breathing techniques, I personally like the 2 short, 1 long, like the you can't see it because I'm not standing. But if I stand, don't be trying to sweat me now. But okay. So his best friend is home. See that? I don't know if you could see that, but that's a good breathing exercise. The dog's bestie just walked in, Kayla. Am I fully booked for sessions? So right now I have a membership program. I have group voice lessons that are available, and I also have private voice sessions. So if you're interested in hearing about any of those things, go ahead and hit me up and we can get a consultation going if you're interested in hearing how you can be a part of any of those offerings. Can you discuss projecting without a mic? That has everything to do with resonance, right? Placing the voice in the mask is how you project. I don't know what to say. You got to place your voice in the mask, whether you have a mic or not. Like, I don't think you should only place your voice right if you have a mic. Okay. Vamos a ver. Your voice dropped so on it. What is the common mistake that you've encountered during teaching beginner singers? Every singer is different. I think the biggest thing I hear, I guess it's a common mistake, and it's also something that drives me nuts personally because I value phrasing. I value long lines. So when somebody has a lot of glottal attacks throughout a phrase, that's just like, that drives me nuts. So Let me see. I'm trying to think of a song. I'm trying to think. Um, it's hard. I'm trying to think of a song that would demonstrate a lot of glottal attacks. Um, let me think. Okay. Okay, so oh my gosh, I can't even think of her name. Lord, if I Tasha Cobbs, Leonard. Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. So, Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting to be where you are. So all that up, and how it's just being chopped up. That is just like, okay, stop. Let's start from the top. Major 7. How can my vocals heal after a surgery? You gotta stop singing. Let it heal. You gotta take a break, honey bunch. How different is singing for boys and girls? Not different enough that somebody should say, not different enough. Not different enough for it to be marked. Does that make sense? So yes, while there are differences between boys and girls, I think I will say this. I would feel uncomfortable teaching maybe like a bass profundo, like a basso profundo, a bass 2. I would be like, oh, that is so low. Like I can't identify with that. Like, I can tell you what to do, but it's like that I can't demonstrate it. I don't know what that feels like. So I would be relying a lot on the information from the student in order to even try to get an experience of what he's experiencing as a singer. So for that reason, I probably wouldn't teach a really low bass. But otherwise, I'm good. Why are you coming in here? Go away.
She will.
Did she poop? Did she pee?
Yeah, she peed.
Okay, good.
And now she's going to the carpet.
Okay. How you doing, baby?
Good.
Okay. Yeah. Can you ever reach the perfect technique? Absolutely. Absolutely. No one does what you do. Let's be real. Oh, I love you, David. Thank you. Is the voice type more about the color and the sound rather than the range? I think the voice type has more to do with, yes, color and sound does inform, but I think vocal breaks informs more, like how long you're in chest voice and when the chest starts to mix, is what kind of is what informs the actual voice type. But I would say I'm not very scientific when it comes to vocal breaks and things like that. I listen more for, okay, is the voice deteriorating as it goes high, or is it blossoming? Is it deteriorating as it goes low, or is it blossoming? Is it just warm and pretty, or is it big? Is it present? Once you hear a true mezzo soprano, you're not gonna mistake any more sopranos for mezzo sopranos just because their voice is pretty in the middle. Once you hear a real mezzo, you're like, oh, that's like a dump truck compared to my voice. I couldn't even push myself to sound like a true mezzo. And that's when you know the difference. So yeah, that's how I handle it. You're welcome, Maria. Do you have any tips for a whistle tone for a true lyric mezzo soprano? I don't think I would have any. I don't think I would have any advice for whistle tone for a mezzo that would be different from my advice for a soprano or any other voice type. I don't think. I have always said that I'm not the expert on whistle. Like I mean
Where's my tablet on the counter?
I had your tablet was on the floor and the dog was trying to lick it, so I moved it.
Wait, didn't you say on the weekends I can go on it?
You didn't even turn in your homework. You left your whole folder here. You left your whole folder, so no, you're gonna get it together one day. I tell you all the time, pack your stuff away, put it away. I know, devastating that you didn't get credit for your homework. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not the best at whistle tone. Like, I suck at it. So why am I going to sit here and be trying to teach you how to do whistle tone? I mean, I know how to get you to access it to a point, but that's not my wheelhouse. You know, it's not my wheelhouse. Modal voice is my wheelhouse. So I try to stay there. I'm okay at it, you know. I can't. Can I take lessons for fun? Maybe not with me. If you can't sing at all, worth a D word, and you want voice lessons, I may not be the one for you. Because that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. That's a good question. Can anyone learn how to sing? Do you guys ask every vocal coach that, or do you just ask me that for, S word and giggles? I want to know. Thanks for your advice. I'll definitely take it on board. Another question: how do you unclog a eustachian tube? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even gonna BS you like this is a, you know, um, essay question on a test and just start pulling words together. I do not know. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Sammy, and you don't need to. Yeah, y'all love asking me that. Why you back so soon? Luna, I'm not the fun one. Um, so do I think everyone can sing? No. Do I think everyone can learn how to sing? No. I think it's genetics. I think it's nature and nurture. I think you need both. You need both in order to have the potential to do well in singing. I don't think that being around singing automatically in and of itself makes you a good candidate for singing lessons, because there's a lot of people who are around singing and they just can't sing. Um, I think genetics plays a huge role. You know, at 7 months, my daughter was able to sing. And I'm not exaggerating. I have video of it. At 7 months, if I sang, "Oh, McDonald had a farm," she would go, "E-I-E-I-O." You know what I'm saying? By the time she was 1, she was walking around the house doing vocal exercises, changing the key a half step up on her own. So it's nature and nurture that informs whether or not you're going to do well as a singer. Come on now, y'all need to know that. Stop fishing for stuff that you know is not true. I don't really think anything about T-Boz's singing. I know a lot of people think that T-Boz's voice was super unique. I don't. I think she was a soprano and they told her to sing everything an octave lower than it was written, and she sounded like that. Da, 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 da. Really, like I don't think there's anything really to comment on there. I got my first dog almost 8 months ago. It took me a few months to get used to him. He's a very small teddy bear looking Pomeranian, so it's much easier. Yeah, my dog is. I mean, I didn't realize my dog was big until I saw how small other people's dogs were. I was like, I thought this was a regular dog. I thought a dog was a dog was a dog. And then people are like, yeah, my dog's 20 pounds. I'm like, really? My dog was like underweight at like 50 something pounds. I had to Lisa your face for me, didn't Stop listening to these vocal coaches who don't be honest with you. I'm tired. Hi, T Ray. Oh, sorry, guys. I do random singing things. When I sing a D2, it's kind of uncomfortable. Well, D2 is really low, you know? Who are you barking at? Nobody is here. Nobody's walking up to the house.
Why is the oven on?
Put the I meant to put the lasagna in there.
What lasagna? The lasagna's not out.
I know, I forgot.
Can I just turn it off?
You'd rather turn it off than put lasagna in there?
Yes, I'd rather put pizza in there.
Dang. Then why are you turning it off? All right, just turn it off.
The pizza needs to come on at different degrees anyway.
No, it's the same. I'll do it in a second.
Okay.
CeCe Winans is a prime example of singing live and in the studio. She has been in the business over 40 years. She's amazing. I love that. CeCe is one of the best singers on the planet. If anybody on here has the connection to CeCe, I would love to do an interview with her. I will probably pass out, but get me an interview with her. And free lessons for life. Have you ever performed while you were sick? Yes, absolutely. I had a live performance with my group when I had pneumonia. Pneumonia? No, not that level of sick. Absolutely not. I had to scream to get the note out while traveling. You probably were not blending. I just want to tell you now, if you were that sick, you probably did not blend and you probably should have stayed home. That is nuts. Turtle W. Who is a better singer, Michelle Williams or Kelly Rowland? That's a good question. I would have to say Michelle. I personally like, I don't know what she wants from me. I personally like Kelly's voice. Like I like her tone. But I think as far as singers, I think Michelle is just a better singer. Like if you listen to her music, it's just better. Like her vocal performances are more well-rounded. What do you want from me, little dog? Why do you need to squeeze up on me? You're not that small. You're actually quite big. Oh my God. Luna, what are you doing? Are you kidding me? Wow. Are you serious? You can't be comfortable. Oh my God. See, she said it's time to go to the cage. You see? Wow. What? Exactly. I was like, what? They hunch. David, I don't know if you're a soprano. But Lisa, you look nice, and I love the red hot locks. What inspired the look? Um, what were my? I had blonde for like 2 years because I didn't know what color I wanted to go to. So I found, and I didn't just want to do like typical dark skinned girl burgundy. No shade to everyone with burgundy hair. It's just like the go to. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I wanted like a brighter red. I wanted something that was a little bit more distinct. So I felt like, I know, I like the magenta. The crazy thing is I didn't actually ask for the magenta. But when I asked for the red, my hairstylist took the liberty to turn it up. And I like it. I love that she did that because this is kind of deep down the color that I wanted, but I was too afraid to ask for because if it didn't look good, then I would have had to take responsibility for that. But the fact that she did it without my consent actually kind of worked out because then it looked good. She said, I got the dark red looked over me. Ooh, child. Oh, okay. Michelle has the most distinctive voice. Yeah, she has the most distinctive voice, and I think she's just a really good vocalist, period. How do people sing raspy? I mean, they just do. Their chords aren't coming together properly. It's actually poor technique. Um, some people sing well in spite of, but that doesn't mean that it's a good technique just because they do well despite this poor phonation happening. Their chords aren't closing properly. How do you keep tension off the voice when singing a lot of words? That's a good question because you have the tendency to swallow, right? So you got to take things really slowly. And like if you go a little bit slower than the actual song is, you'll start to be able to pinpoint the moments that the tension comes in, and then you got to work around it, if that makes sense. I know a lot of people feel like they have a natural rasp, or a lot of people have like some people just talk raspy. Like there's some kids with raspy voices. That doesn't change what raspiness is. Raspiness is the result of vocal folds not functioning efficiently. So you saying you have a natural rasp doesn't change that your chords aren't functioning efficiently. They're just not. Whether you like the sound or not is, that's subjective. But the objective answer to why is a voice raspy is that the chords are not functioning efficiently. Make sense? Hi, Gabe. I am learning how to sing, singing high, singing low, singing. I am learning how to sing, singing high, singing low, singing everywhere I go. I just made that up. I feel like I have an actual. Okay, I saw that already. Sure. Don't send it on YouTube though. It will get lost forever. I don't even know how. Does YouTube even have um does YouTube even have DMs anymore? Because I used to get DMs on YouTube all the time. And I think they made so many changes. I don't think they have the DM function anymore. Remember years ago? I always say I was on YouTube before it was social media. They had DMs. Yes, I am learning how to sing. I still use that. I still use that with my clients that are learning how to do chest voice. Man, you are a natural. Have you decided to record? I'm guessing these are questions, right? You said you are natural, have decided to record a live out. Um, are you asking me a question? Because I want to make sure I answer it. If you're asking me, first of all, if you're saying I'm a natural, thank you. And have I decided to record a live album? I kind of have. If you look at my Christmas record, I mean, it's only 3 songs, but that day I actually recorded 7 songs. Three of them were Christmas songs, and so I put together. I put them out as videos, and then a year later, I just took the audio and made a Christmas record. So it's Delisa Christmas, and I personally think it's like my best vocal performance ever in life is represented on that album. I love Christmas songs, and they were songs that I've always wanted to do. So it was a great moment. It was a great moment. Lyric just means light, warm, youthful. Youthful. I think that in popular music, most people are lyrics. So you just don't really have a whole lot to compare it to if the only voices you hear are the ones that make it into mainstream. Mainstream likes lyric voices. So most of the voices you hear are that. Yeah. Good question. Would you consider notes above a D6 whistle tones, or does it just depend? I think that's individual, to be honest. I'm glad you asked that because I saw a post the other day celebrating whistle tones, and everybody wasn't in whistle. So it depends on the individual voice of when whistle starts for their voice. Sometimes it's just a high head voice. D6 is not a whistle tone at all. Not to me. I think once you get to like F6, F sharp 6, G6, now we're like fully in whistle, but D6, no, that's head voice. Should vocalists sing in a song's original key as long as they can hit the notes, or should the key be lowered? Should always be lowered or raised or whatever it takes to sing the song comfortably. Nobody's gonna get extra points for singing a song that's too high. Nobody gets extra points for that. I'm definitely dramatic. I feel like it's a much rarer tone. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Dramatic is a rare tone. It is a rare tone, and it doesn't get its just due. Um, so yes, usually when you have a warmer voice, a heavier voice, they usually just tell you you're a lower voice type than you actually are. Let me see. 3 people I want to collaborate with. Hi, Ruben from New Zealand. If I only had 3 people to collaborate with. Can Erica and Tina Campbell be one person? I don't know. It's a really good question. I don't know. Layla Hathaway. I would love to do something with why? Oh my gosh, why did I forget his name? He's a jazz artist, dark skinned guy. He did a cover album. He's a keyboardist. He's amazing. I can't believe I forgot his name just like that. His face is in my head and I just totally forgot his name. Thank you. When I think of home, somebody said they love my version of home. Thank you. I did that because somebody asked me, there was like a TV thing going on, and somebody was like, hey, this was like right before COVID shut everything down. Some TV show was doing some sort of musical theater moment. and wanted singers. And so I was asked to do that video, which was cool. Love overflowing. Oh my goodness. The PBS Brandy thing just came out today. Oh my. I haven't even watched it. I'm scared to watch it. I saw that it was only 11 minutes. So I was like, how did they even cut this down? Because my interview alone was like an hour. And then I saw that there were other people in there. So who knows? I may only be in there for 30 seconds. But Soundfield PBS put out the amazing, I think it's called like the amazingness of Brandy or something like that. Soundfield PBS. So oh my God. I'll feature up Robert Glasper. I want to work with him. Robert Glasper. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, Shantae. Yes, Robert Glasper. I would love to work with Robert Glasper. Oh my gosh. He's just a modern day genius. Have his people call my people, i.e. me. I am my people. Oh, Brandy. Yeah, of course. Of course I would want to work with Brandy. Are you kidding? I want to work with everybody. Whoever want to work with me, who I want to work with. How about that? The look is killing. Thank you, Mike. One of the things that I have a Facebook group called Entrepreneurship for the Independent Artists. And one of the things that I wanted to do this week was, what am I going to do every day for the next 7 days that reflects what I want my business to look like? And one of those things that I said I wanted to do every day for the next 7 days is show up to my business looking the part. You guys know I love my sweaters. I love my sweaters and sweatpants. And I'm like, look, I'm a single mom. I'm dragging myself here. This is just what I got today. But I was like, you know what? Let me start putting some boundaries in place and saying, these are the hours that I'm going to work. These are the hours that I'm going to teach. These are the hours that I'm going to market my business, that I'm going to build my business, that I'm going to be on the phone, that I'm going to be consulting. Be really specific about that so that you can show up to your business as your best self. And you're now giving yourself the time to show up as your best self. Let me tell you something. Showing up as my best self I've done this for maybe 3 days where I put on a real shirt and didn't just put on a sweater. I had a TikTok video last night. I woke up this morning to 200 new followers, 12,000 views on one video because I chose to do something for 7 days straight. Yes. And I've done so many consultations in the last day, and I got so many consultations lined up. So I am, and I did some interviews today for my show Conversations with Delisa. So I was like, let me, look like I'm somebody. Sorry, I break out into the worst songs. I'm so sorry. But boundaries are so important. Boundaries free you to be your best self. And it's a scary thing to tell people, listen, I'm only teaching on these days. I'm only teaching at these times, because there are certain clients that just are like, well, I'm just not available during that time. And then you just have to say, well, then I can't work with you. And that sucks because you're like, oh, but I really want this client. But man, it frees you up to be your best self. It really does. Because it's like once you start making exceptions, before you know it, you're working at 10 in the morning. You're working from 9 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, trying to please everybody. No. Hello, Kevin. Thank you for the heart. You need to schedule a consultation. Hit me in the DM. I think it's Shantae. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but it looks like Shantae. Any tips on learning how to hear yourself better when you're singing? Record yourself. First of all, what time is it? Okay. Because I have to get on a consultation right now, actually. Wow, Joseph. What do you think I am? Arrogant? Are there any relevant artists who you feel are on your level in terms of deep understanding and consistency? Most singers seem to have at least one or two flaws. First of all, what makes you think I don't have any flaws? Who do you think I am? So, I think there's a lot of singers out there who are past my level. What do you mean? I think Jasmine Sullivan is like past my level. She does things I just go, oh, okay. Um, I I wish I could think of another one off the top of my head, but that's it for now. I'm in Atlanta. Do you think big record labels are out and independent ones are the way to go? I think people should do whatever they want to do. I don't think big record labels are out because, they can put $1 million behind a project. That's still really valuable to some people. Then you have smaller record labels that can put 100,000 behind your project. That's still really valuable. Um, and then we have us. I mean, we could be independent if we own our own home. We could. I mean, in the economy that we have right now, if you bought your home 5, 6 years ago, you may have gained $100,000 just in equity. You could take that out and become your own record label at this point. To be honest with you, if you owned your home, if you bought a home at the right time, you could cash out on that and do everything yourself. It's really about how involved do you want to be in the process. Yeba is amazing too. Um, hey Delisa, I'm a bass baritone R&B singer. F4 and onward. I don't know if what you're asking for is entirely possible. You're a bass baritone trying to sing chest voice above an F4. I think you're asking a lot of yourself personally. That's a lot. Being able to sing an F4 as a bass baritone is a really good accomplishment. I'm not sure how high you want your voice to go, but that's a really good range. Why are you trying to make it higher? How do I take classical singing principles and apply it to R&B? Um, I'm looking for a classically trained teacher, but I'm afraid I'd mess up my R&B sound. How do you take the principles? You just do. I don't know what to tell you. You just do. You take the principle of the high soft palate, of the relaxed tongue, and then you go, you know what? I'm going to put that here, but I am going to not have the vibrato. So I'm going to place it as forward as possible without having the vibrato and without creating tension, without creating unnecessary tension, because you have to create some tension in order to have the vibrato. I think it's always easier to actually learn the classical voice. So then you have a litmus of how far away or close to it you actually are when you're singing R&B. How much do you charge for individual private lessons? Why don't you hit me up? I would love to do a consultation with you and we can go over rates. Hi, gorgeousness. I do have an appointment. Thank you for reminding me. My appointment is in 6 minutes. You are amazing. You want to be my assistant or something? Do you think that voice types change? Yes, I do think they can change, but I don't think they change as much as people would like for them to change. You know what I'm saying? I think they change like when you're like 60. If you're taking good care of your voice, it's a slower change. Hi, Solomon. Lord Solomon the Seer. What a name. What a name. Lord Solomon the Seer. What's the story behind that? Thank you so much, Kevin. I asked because a lot of singers are good but don't know what that they're doing things perfect. Is it easy to revert back to old habits? Oh, 100%. It's easy to revert back to old habits for sure. Yeah. Whatever you know how it is, the last thing you learned is the first thing to go. So I worked really hard in grad school to get all of these skills. And honey, the other day the other day somebody asked me to sing Witness, and I was like, oh Jesus. Oh Lord, what manner? It's not even that high. Oh Lord, what manner of madness is? All the tension came right back, and my voice was like, "Who are you, ma'am? We haven't seen you in 2 years. Why are you doing this?" So that was fun. What advice would you give singers who are looking to be signed by a record label? That's a good question. Okay, if I wanted to be signed by a record label, I would do artist development. I would start learning how to dance. I would start being trendy as heck. I would dress trendy. Like you have to stay up on trends. You got to stay up on, when I say trends, like music pages, like what are they talking about and is it going viral? Whoever's going viral at the moment, you got to jump on that. You got to create your audience. I would say that's the biggest thing, right? Is making sure you're at certain shows, that you're keyed into certain events to make sure that you're around, you're rubbing noses with record executives. And if you're not rubbing noses with record executives, are you rubbing noses with their assistants? What studios are you going to? Sorry. Like I would be so strategic with the studios I go to, with the okay, let me tell you something. I have a friend who lives in Beverly Hills and pays like 6,000 a month or something in rent for like a 2-bedroom house or four. Like it's an insane amount. She does that because the Beverly Hills person is her ideal client for a spa that she created in Beverly Hills. She wants to be neighbors with these people because these people are her potential customers. So she's willing to pay the price to be in proximity. So she's like, why would I live in a cheaper area if those people could never afford what I'm trying to sell? I have to become friends with the people with money. And that's how I'll continue to get money. So I think you have to think like that as an artist if you're looking to get signed. Where do these people work? Well, obviously, you know where they work, but where do they eat? Where do they hang out? And it kind of immerse yourself in their culture of doing things. And like I said, if you're going to the same barber as so-and-so, if you're going to the same church as so-and-so, if you're shopping at the same grocery store, if you're going to the same Starbucks, if you're running into the same parties, if if you're running in the same circles, even on Instagram, finding out who their assistants are, if you're going to the same studios that they're going to, I feel like those are the things you have to do to get signed. And someone's gonna be like, hey, there's a reality show coming out and they want up and coming, blah, blah, blah. Are you down? That's how that stuff happens. F4 is a hard cliff for a bass baritone. As a tenor, I can tell you G4. Exactly. So the fact that this man can hit an F4 and he want to go beyond, it's like, come on. Because why, Reginald, what is wrong with you guys? Y'all always want what you ain't got. Why do you want to sing If Only You Knew? I got a whole fallopian tube and uterus and I can't sing If Only You Knew, but you want to sing it. So, anyways, I gotta go now. What a way to end. No, you don't have to pay for a consultation. You can just go to my website. Yes, I think she's a soprano. I don't know why anybody would say she's a mezzo. People just say what they want because saying she's a mezzo and then her being able to sing the high notes makes her more like, oh wow, she's a mezzo and she can do that. No, she's a soprano. That's why she can do that. All right, you guys have a beautiful rest of the day. I need to get on this consultation. And if you guys are wanting to do free consultations, you can either just DM me or go to my website and sign up for a consultation. Like I said, I'm doing membership programs, group lessons, and private sessions. So during our consultation, I'll kind of give you the rundown on all of those and help you figure out what works best for you. And I will talk to you later. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.